Listen, I've talked to one on this podcast before. The other one is their first time, and I love these two men so much. What they do for pop culture, Bravo, reality shows are so it can't be discounted. They are at the forefront of all the things that we love and talk about. Their podcast, which I highly recommend you subscribe and rate 5 stars right now, is Page Six's virtual reality TEA. Do you see what they did there? And they talk about everything. They talk about all the shows, the gossip, the inside information. They had Countess Luann this week. I mean, really, truly incredible work. And it's shorter than mine. Mine will be these 3-hour opuses. These guys get you in and out in like 40 minutes. It's amazing. But also what's amazing about them, they do these live shows that will blow you away. The virtual reality, the ones that they've had so far. The last one, Sutton Strack admitted to doing mushrooms with Mick Jagger in that area. They had Carl and Lindsay on before the breakup. You had Candace, Uba, Sai, everybody that you could possibly want to see live. Anywho, here they are. From Page Six, Evan Reel and Danny Murphy, or Cashmere Danny as we know him. Welcome, gentlemen.
Oh my God. Hi, Ryan.
Thank you for that wonderful intro. Wow. My head is inflated.
Yes.
Listen, I know Danny, obviously, before this, but I came up to Evan at the Vanderpump Rules finale, and I was like, I love you, man. I love you. I was like, because I start my day off reading Page Six. It's just one of those go-to things. And you're also an entertainment reporter at Page Six, so you're always getting the good news. I saw you interviewing Candace just yesterday.
I mean, yes, I chatted with my girl Candace while she was out here in LA, and yeah, I like to keep it moving and shaking and talking to whoever I can.
Well, how did you guys team up? How did you guys get paired together?
It was during the pandemic, where I feel like now everything just happened during the pandemic. Well,
during
it's
the
funny
pandemic.
because right now it's like LA. Before that, like two people talking in LA, New York. Like I don't know how technology was so advanced, but they were like that could never be anything because like podcasts have to be in person. But Evan started at Page Six, and then we just like would talk so much about pop culture and Housewives and everything, and then kind of like all of our bosses were like, "This should be something," which was like you don't really hear that a lot from like bosses, which is great, and then they let us make it something.
I mean, and what is your goal when you go into these shows? Are you coming into this as, because obviously this is your job, but you're also a fan of these shows. What do you want to convey to the audience? What do you hope that the experience that we get out of it?
I mean, I feel like Danny and I just want our listeners to feel like they're hanging out with us and like just, I don't know, because like you said, we are fans. So it's just like a stream of consciousness for me and Danny to sort of get our opinions out there and see if people agree with them, which I don't know. We don't really check the comments a lot, so I don't know if they agree with us or if they're vibing with what we're saying. I hope they are.
Well, do you guys agree with each other on your Bravo opinions? Is there some place where you've completely gone separate? Like, it's Evan, are you a big Sandoval guy? And Danny's like, no way.
Well, okay, funny story about Sandoval. I actually was accidentally a big Sandoval guy for like the past like year and a half prior to Scandoval because, and this like I don't know, I don't know who I should apologize to, like the Page Six audience or to Sandoval himself. But I went to one show back in 2021, one of his first, and I interviewed him, and at the time like. It was like Vanderpump season 9 and Vanderpump was kind of like not very exciting. And and with Sandoval, he was never really like involved too much in the drama until Scandoval. So I didn't really have much to ask him about. And so I was literally just asking him about music and his like cameo on The Hills from 2006. And I ended up writing this like very
like Rolling Stones level.
Yeah, like this very lengthy music feature. And I gave him like a glowing review of his concert, etc. And then I kind of became like Sandoval's best friend. And then
he became like the Kate Hudson in Almost Famous. Like he was full groupie vibe. Like he literally glasses. It's all hot. Yes.
And he was he was doing Tiny Dancer in the middle of Hotel Cafe.
Basically. Yeah. Wait, that's where his first show was. That's
where
I was
there, Evan. In fact, I was there, and I remember you had to interview him beforehand, and then it was like I read the piece. In fact, I read that. I was a Sandoval groupie. Like I saw more than the Grateful Dead. It was wild But that's what's so funny is that I so believed. I mean, that's the other question for you guys. Do you get so enamored with these people once you meet them that it's hard to actually be, somewhat a reporter on something because you're enamored by them?
I feel that happens when it's like people you love that like you love them together, then they start fighting. And I almost want to be like, I need to like we want to like sit them down to be like, can you guys get along? And it's like, no, they're filming a show. And also they have their own drama and I don't know them, but like, I don't like when like two girlies that I love start to like spar with each other. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is like a weird thing when like I don't know. I'm so easy. Like if you just like give me like a half of a compliment, I will love you forever. So you could have done the craziest shit on TV and you could be the most like cancelable person in the Bravoverse. If you're nice to me, I'm team you. And so well, it does get hard. Like I remember I was on Santa Monica Boulevard one day and Shannon Bedore and Kelly Dodd were like in the midst.
Shannon Bedore wrecked into you? Shannon Bedore hit you in the car?
No, I didn't really have any interactions with Shannon, but Kelly and I like locked eyes from afar and she was like standing in like a sea of gays and she was like just relishing in it and all the gays were relishing in her presence and like we made eye contact and I smiled at her and then I forgot about all the heinous shit so it's like
you might have like watched her doing like an outside conversion therapy. Like you're like she was surrounded by gays, locked eyes with me, and suddenly I left my fiance of 10 years. Weirdly, I was like, no, why am I with a man?
Yeah,
I feel like in his eyes.
This is what Danny will like put me in my place and get me wrapped up and all together because he will drop some truth bombs that I so desperately need. Like I didn't realize I was experiencing a reverse conversion therapy.
It's because you guys live in LA. I live in New Jersey. I don't trust a single bit.
You keep it real. The Jersey people keep it real. Yeah. You just break glasses and get into fights, but keep it real.
That's why I laugh when people are like, oh my God, that happened. I was like, you never went to school lunch? I was like, what the fuck? Like, yeah.
No, it is interesting covering this stuff and pop culture as a whole is that you really get involved and like it encourages fandom. Like pop culture only exists because of fandom, but then it's like, this is my sports. Like I have my team. And if you don't play well, I get upset. Like last night we had the Real Housewives of Orange County, first part of the reunion, which we found out it's only going to be 2 parts, which I'm happy that Bravo is not extending it to 3 or 4 like they sometimes do. But you have all of this stuff. Like right now, we are in the midst of Shannon Bedore and hoping that she is well. And but then last night she had this insane scene with Gina where Gina really rightfully came at her because of the CPS. Yes, but also. Welcome to the show, Gina. Thank you for waking up. Like, what was your guys' take on last night? If you saw
it, it's the Red Bulls because she's sober now, and I don't drink, so I just chug Red Bulls. You shout randomly, and I loved it. And me and Evan, we love Gina so much. So I loved Gina being really front and center of that reunion. I feel Andy was looking at her kind of like, oh. Okay.
Oh yeah, isn't it funny that we actually assign Andy to that of like the kingmaker in a way? And I don't mean it in a negative way like Bethany Frankel will like to
I was say. Like, is that what we call her on this podcast?
I call her Bethany Frankel because I always be like, oh, she's Frankling up a storm this week. Like she really Frankled it. But it is interesting, when they do have good performances, I have, I'm so invested now that I'm like, wow, is Andy really impressed right now? Like, is he like, we got to give her a little something extra next season.
Yeah, no, I feel like he's a good barometer for a Housewives performance. But I love how, like, even though Andy seemed to be feeling Gina in her reunion performance, it's not like Gina gave a shit because a few weeks later, she's clapping back on Instagram. Like, she has found her power, and I love that for her. And she made some really good points. I feel like Gina's in her point-making era, and she's just, like, ready to address the BS because what Andy said, that was some BS. And what Shannon was saying, that was some BS too. She's cutting through it.
That is something like, and as a, somebody that works for Page Six, and I've, it's so funny. I went to New York and I was buying the New York Post every day, the paper of note. Like because it's something that I just grew up with. And I always, so it's funny. It was like the Sunday, the first thing I opened up, I see your 2-page interview with Brandi Glanville. I was like, oh, look at this, a 2-page in the middle of the New York Post. And I was like, how do you guys this question for both of you. How do you approach these where you're a fan, you want to have fun, you want the audience to have fun, especially at your live shows, but you're also looking to get a little something that somebody else doesn't have, that a little piece of information that can be picked up, that you can push out there. How do you guys, this is a question just I want to know for me, how do you guys go about that?
That it is a little interesting dance that we have learned to do. Because Danny and I, especially like on the podcast, like I feel like we wanted to feel like a safe space for talent to come on and say what they want, and we like they become the queen of our castle that day. Like, say what you want, say how you feel. We're gonna be clapping for you, yes queening the whole way. But your enemy might come on the podcast the week after, and we're gonna be yes queening them too. So we don't. It's hard not to have favorites, but we like truly make an effort not to play favorites and just sort of like give them an opportunity to spill whatever they want to spill. With the Brandy thing, that was like an interesting situation because there was no way we couldn't address the elephant in the room, which was Caroline Manzo. So that, that's what that was. And
but by the way, now Brandy just had to go to the hospital last week. Like Brandy seems like there is, it's interesting because these people start to feel, and this is probably, wrong, but they start to feel like family where you're like, I want everybody to be okay.
Very true,
it seems like this is taking a toll on her. Danny, how do you know, though, when you are on the right path with somebody? Is it all about just making them feel as comfortable as possible so that they open up completely and give you these little nuggets? I'm still cracking up at the Sutton mushroom story. Like, I watched that like 30 times because I was like, how not Sutton and Sutton at the same time to do mushrooms, Mick Jagger?
That's exactly it. It really was both not Sutton and just like the most classic Sutton story. No, I feel like it's what Evan was saying. It's like you want people to feel comfortable and heard. And then I think a lot of it is like doing the research, not just as a fan, but like of what they enjoy to talk about and what they're really like things they might want to get off their chest. And also like to tee them up in a way where it's like, so we've had like Psy on so many times, but then we just are having Jessel on next week. And we're like, but it's like, so we're like, Jessel, we talked to Psy so much and like, we vibe with her and like we XYZ, but like, why are you guys like, what is happening with you two? So kind of letting them know where we stand too, to kind of give them the opportunity to be like, well, this is maybe what you don't see. That is what I want to get my point across. Or they also realize it's like, oh, I'm only on a show that's like 50 minutes a week. I want to address it a little bit more. The Sutton thing, the moment you're talking about, I wish we could take more credit, but I think that also is the trusting that like, let these ladies who are so captivating, entertaining, just do their thing, and like partnering her with Cynthia Bailey, like the best friend duo of all time.
She loves Cynthia.
They are like star-crossed lovers. And I feel that was just like a thing where you need to kind of just rip up anything you have planned, because they just came out and started talking for 25 minutes. And it's the easiest interview me and Evan ever did, because we're like, we don't have to ask a single question.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like our live shows, Danny and I will like put our blood, sweat, and tears into like prepping questions and stuff. And like I would say 84% of the time, we don't even look at our note cards. We just like let rip.
I mean, that's what my acting teacher used to say when I used to try to be an actor, was that it was like you prepare so much so you can get in there and just throw it all away. If you are prepared like you guys do. And that's why these live shows, you guys, they're doing another one December 6th. It should be on sale soon. And they're going to have an amazing guest list. The guests at these things are just mind blowing. And it's kind of like an intimate environment. And there's always something that they're going to be talking about, or we're going to be talking about as a Bravo audience for like the next month. So you need to get your tickets to December 6th. I hope I'm going to be able to be there. Yes, but it's just, I mean, truly awesome. I keep talking to the bench. I was like, this is so amazing what they're doing. I keep pointing out, it's like, you guys to me are a blueprint of really what, I mean, no, I mean, I'm sorry to kiss your ass so much, but you get me excited as a fan. No, you get me excited. Like, I mean, these shows, like, so yesterday, Evan, or maybe the day before when you interviewed Candace from Potomac, we've got a new season of Potomac coming up at the beginning of November. What are you looking to get out of that interview? Or was there something revealed, or is there any teases you can give us with that?
So actually, I went to go interview her for a style piece. It was like pretty much like all about fashion. And it happened to be the day that I interviewed her was the day that the trailer dropped. And so I couldn't not ask about the trailer. And so I asked her for just like her general reaction, which Candace, she is the queen of sound bites. So she
really is.
She is just a wordsmith. So it was funny what she had to say. But then Danny and I had Ashley Darby at our last live show, and a very astute audience member asked a very great question, and that was if she had maintained her friendship with Cookie Monster after the video debacle, like the big fight that everyone saw on social media. Yeah. So I didn't want to press Candace too hard about it because I know we have a whole season to get through, and I know they're weird about like teasing, etc., whatever, blah, blah, blah. But all I asked was, how do you feel about Ashley saying she no longer wants to be friends with Cookie Monster after that fight? And then the floodgates just opened. She told me everything. She told me how they made up, how the season ended. I was like, Candace.
She told me too much. She told me too much. She told me who dies in the season. She told me who as a Bravo fan and what you guys do yourselves, I mean, we really are headed into the holidays, but also potentially the worst work couple of months of our lives because there is so much. We got Married to Medicine, the trailer just dropped. We got Potomac. We've got Real Housewives of Beverly Hills coming back. We have Selling Sunset new season. We have probably 3 more Taylor Swift albums and a lot of football games to cover. What are you guys? I mean, and also BravoCon, which I'm sure you guys will both be at, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that'll be insane in Vegas, which well, Vegas is just like not my place. So I'm very curious to see if that becomes more true or less true while working 25 hours a day and like with 2,000 Bravo celebrities there. So I'm like, I don't know what to expect for it.
No, I think Vegas is going to be so amazing, especially for Danny, because very weird. I love a medium. I love a psychic moment. And I do a medium reading with my girl Valerie like every year around my birthday. And 2 birthdays ago, she was like, who's Danny? Who's Danny the comedian? And I'm like, oh, like my co-host Danny, like we work together. And she's like, yeah, well, he's going to have a big moment in Vegas. Like that's where he's going to get discovered. And so we were just like, I was like, when the fuck are you going to Vegas, Danny? And then so finally BravoCon's in Vegas. And I'm like, something good is going to happen for Danny in Vegas. I just know it. I know it.
Danny's going to bet it all on Blonde in Vegas. He wants to announce right now he's opening up for Erica Jane at her Planet Hollywood Bar and Grill residency.
I'm patting the puss with Captain Jason. Yes, that's on the Premium Plus BravoCon app. Check your apps, refresh it. It's a Monday activity. Yes.
I mean, it is one of those things I'm really like excited, but I'm scared to go because it's just your body goes through so many. I went to the New York one and I was at the Gansevoort where they were all staying and it was just 72 hours where I was like, this could go great or I could die by the end of it because it's just so much. It's so much for your brain to conceive that all of these Bravo celebrities are just walking around like real human people.
And it's also somebody because like on like the day one, everyone has their fit perfectly planned. Everyone looks so good. And then Sunday, it literally is like Dawn of the Dead, like everyone crawling out. I don't even know we're probably all going to be just in sweatpants on Sunday. Just like, what's happening now?
Yeah. Just get it over with. Just show the premieres and let's go. Also, the amount of glam squads that are going to be taking Vegas is going to be insane.
Oh, it's going to be insane. And also I'm upset because like there's like so many residencies I want to see right now that like I'm like there's going to be no time to. I was like I want to see Usher and Kylie Minogue.
I know.
By the way, I wonder what they're going to do though in terms of Vegas to make it a little Bravo. Like, are they going to like project Bravo on the Sphere? Are they going to do something to like welcome BravoCon?
That would be amazing. Like all of a sudden I just got like a flash of like Candace throwing a butter knife on the Sphere. Yeah. Like, can you
or like Teresa flipping the table on the Sphere or Aviva throwing the leg? Like any of those things would be amazing.
And honestly, Vegas is a place where like everyone just smokes inside. So I think the Housewives are going to love it because they're going to just be like, that's going to be they're just going to be displaying that. It's just going to truly be chain smoking and putting it out in pina coladas.
Moving to Beverly Hills trailer. The Beverly Hills trailer came out, and I really, it's interesting. The audience, we're so. We think everything's a conspiracy now. We think everything's like, this is so fake. And I'm here going like, I'm very jaded and I'm like, I buy it. I mean, like it seemed really sad. You had the scene with Kyle and Portia and the kids, like, obviously all crying. And I thought that was great. What was your take on the trailer? What were you interested to see for this new season?
I'm just trying to put together like context clues for timelines and stuff because I was at Kyle's event. She had a mental health awareness charity event where Morgan was actually performing at. And that night, I asked her, because Mauricio had said something on Two Teas in a Pod, like the girls had tried to come for their marriage and talk about her not wearing her ring to the gym, and it was all good, no issues, et cetera, et cetera. So she was very much in her like unbothered era, being like, yeah, they wanted to make a big thing about me not wearing my ring to the gym, but like, who wears their engagement ring to the gym? And I was like, oh yeah, I totally get it. Like the girls are reaching, whatever. And she just seemed like totally like unfazed. She and Morgan looked friendly, nothing to raise an eyebrow about. And then maybe like 2 weeks later, I was at Dorit Kemsley's Homeless Not Toothless gala. I was covering the carpet.
Of course.
And Kyle and Mauricio walked the carpet together.
Oh.
Kyle looked...
It's the Separated Not Divorced gala. Yeah.
Well, and they were giving Separated but Not Divorced because they did the carpet together. And Mauricio was very like... he was more PDA-y with her, like very much like on her. And she was like very like... She was just a little stiff. I don't know. The vibes were a little off, but they were still like, you know, a pair that night. So I don't know. I'm scared that it's going to be a situation where it's like we picked up cameras, we filmed an amazing season finale in 2 weeks, and we're just going to be waiting for that, like kind of like, you know, Vanderpump season 10.
But I'd say all the little snippets in between do look fun because I'm like here for like Garcelle and Erica being little like two little pals. I don't need like this dinner reunion and all this stuff. I'm confused how many episodes that's going to be because that was a big part of like
you mean with
Denise and everybody,
with Denise and
Camille
and Kim. I'm like, I don't know how many episodes that will be because that was a big moment in the trailer. But I'm here for them that like everyone's kind of like, it seems like everyone's on a light vibe with one another. So it's not like a whole situation again where it's like, well, we're mad at them and we're mad at them. And now it's like, okay, everyone's going to have little petty feuds, kind of like how OC was this past season, where it's like, everyone's just mad at someone else for an episode. And I love that. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, like little basic things. And that's kind of like why I like Rony right now is I like back to basics of fighting about phones, fighting about reservations. I like those because if you can set that foundation, then when the shit really gets crazy, we are invested in these women for just the sake of their friendships and being women, not these, we've got to get away from like the Scandival and like who's going to jail this season. Like it's so intense.
Right. Oh, wait, speaking of Rony, I'm assuming are you team Jessel?
Yeah. Listen, I think, I know you guys are Psy fans, but I think she should spell her name S-I-G-H. I'm tired of her. I'm sorry. I got to go hard. I'm sorry. She comes up very mean, obviously very hungry. There's a tapeworm thing happening there, but I think it's so judgmental when and also the creator, the influencer aspect of it. Sometimes I get a little tiring of somebody saying they're an influencer and this is how hard I work. It's probably the truth, but I guess I just want different stories that take us out of like the influencer realm and for just some basic kindness when you don't have to be mean at everything that Jessel does.
I know it's also hard because I feel like there's a lot of times because it's all their first times on reality TV. So I know when it's like, I kind of feel like she might be in the moment where like, when I tell my friends like, okay, wait, take my photo right now. And I take photos. I'm like, I love my fit. I love the backdrop. And I look at the pictures and I'm like, this is what I look like. This is how I'm coming across. I could see if it's a little bit of that maybe. She's like, oh, I said all that. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
I'm curious to see how it changes her or if she like doubles down because a lot of housewives will double down.
Well, she just did an interview with Bryce Sanders and I was very interested in the way that she handled some of the questions because she doubled down. He was like, do you have any, he didn't say regrets, but something to the effect of, do you have any regrets about how you handled that, the lunch with Jessel and just how you navigated the relationship with Jessel? And basically she said no, because there are a lot of nuances that the audience doesn't get to see. So she doesn't seem to regret it. She doesn't take it back.
Bad edit. Yeah. Bad edit.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I feel like Psy, and the thing about Psy in person, it's such a different experience than Psy on the show. And I do think that she might make some adjustments going into the next season to like hopefully transmit some of that in-person energy that Danny and I have felt.
Yeah, even though Bowen Yang wants her gone.
Yeah, God, Bowen on Watch What Happens Live was intense. And the Giselle comment that Bowen said too was like, I was like, damn. And then he said it with a straight face. And like, it was like, I was like, damn, this isn't even a joke. This there's no punchline here.
And now I'm a green-eyed bandit, so I'm not going to come on out.
Well, listen,
I've listened to more episodes of Reasonably Shady than I've watched SNL lately, but that's all I'm not. Just kidding. I don't want to feud with Bowen
feud. Bowen Page 6 feud. Let's go. No, you're right though. It is interesting though. All of these ladies, like we said, like I would love. It's hard doing like what I do and like popping off at the mouth about like my opinions about watching the show, but the show and real life are sometimes two separate things. It is a version of reality. So yeah, sometimes I feel bad for having strong opinions, but I also realize when I meet them in person, most of these people are just so lovely and nice. Like I was on Melissa Gorga's show and she was so great. And like, I like Teresa. I don't like getting in the middle. Like, I even said that to her on the show. I'm like, I'm scared about doing this because the fandom is so, and especially Jersey.
Yes.
It's like, is it okay to like Margaret? And is it okay to like everybody? Like, do I have to pick a side if I can appreciate things about both teams? Like, it's so weird
I
now.
hope this season of Jersey makes it a little less that, because from like, I feel like it's now maybe just a coexisting that like maybe new fandoms will spar off and get mad about, I don't know, Danielle and Jennifer sides or something. I have no clue.
It's crazy. Also, wait, really quick. I know we had to wind up here in 4 minutes, but Lisa Barlow, she's an example of somebody talking about Psy. She's somebody that I think she doubles down, but I love. She's so Lisa Barlow that even when she's wrong, she's right for me. You know, like I'm just like, wow, she's so unapologetically herself, and she loves herself that it's hard to. You could pick apart her opinions and beliefs, but at the same time, she's truly showing who she is, and I appreciate that. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense. I just want to shout out Lisa Barlow for whatever tanning salon tantrum she had, because I relate to that so hard. Like, I'm someone who, when I need my spray tan, especially for an event or a special occasion, I need my spray tan. And if you are open for 30 more minutes, you have time to facilitate a 10-minute spray tan. And things would also escalate for me too if I was in that situation. And I hope that she's found a better spray tan place, because it was the same place that Meredith went to, and Meredith was complaining about the splotches on her arm. So maybe Lisa won in the end.
But we need that. They have to have like video, like this tanning salon has to have the black and white video of Lisa Barlow, like, I can't believe you're not doing this. Like, it's just like,
biggest gulp in hand. Yes.
By the way, Page 6 needs to get in there and get that video.
We're on it. We're going to figure out what tanning salon it was, and we'll get it for you.
We'll do some stuff, and we'll find the 60G ring. We'll find a way.
Oh my God. So many things cost $60,000 in her life. I mean, the fact that she's going to go broke this season if we don't find that ring.
Two broke girls, yeah.
But I'm loving Salt Lake. I'm really excited about what's to come for everything. Two last questions. Erica James, we were talking about Vegas. Will you be going to see the $7 Bet It All on Blonde? Because she even had that comment to Denise in the trailer of like, did you know you can get a nude bundle at Denise Richards for $7? And then we find out her tickets are at I think Page 6 even did a story on this. Will you guys be going to see this show?
Wait, if there's time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love Erica Jane as a pop artist, and I have gone to great lengths to see her perform live. Before she was even Housewives famous, I knew about her music because I love my Britneys and Christinas, but I also love my incredibly obscure pop girls that like only gay men in very niche circles have heard about. And at one point, that was Erica Jane. So I was in New York City. I was 18 years old. It was like my first year living there. I think it must have been like, maybe I was 19. It was like 2010. But Kim Zolciak's Don't Be Tardy had just come out, and she was performing at Splash. And that was exciting to me. But her opening act, Erica Jane, was the opening act for Kim Zolciak at Splash. And there was nothing. There was nothing that was going to stop me. So I located...
This is like Woodstock for gay people. This is like...
Literally. So I located
Woodstock,
a fake...
Yeah.
I found myself a fake ID. I made it happen, and I had the time of my life. And I shared this story with her when I did the Bet It All on Blonde junket with her. And I wanted to go to the press night, but I unfortunately cannot go. So I do want to make it out, especially if it's only $7. Like, come on, I'll go 3 nights.
I've never seen her live, but I love the advocating she's doing for menopause side effect awareness too. Very important. Very important. As someone who's also been suffering from that this year, I think. Yes, very important and crucial.
Very stunning in the photos, the new photos that we're seeing of her.
I'm a woman in STEM. Yes, I agree. I support that. Yes.
Very curious where this all goes. And finally, because, listen, at this point, would you guys have Bethany Frankel on your show?
Yes.
100%.
100%?
Please.
100%.
I actually would love that. Yeah.
Can you?
But even if she berates you, but it should be like this. You guys don't get it. You guys don't get it. I can't explain it to you.
I real and berate.
I'm a Taurus sun with a Scorpio rising. If someone wants to berate me on Zoom, let's go.
Because Danny will berate her right back.
I'm on the East Coast. Let's go in person. I'll go to the Hamptons right now. Facetune me to the gods on our little photo shoot together.
I need to see, because page 6, I try to stay away from like Bethany news because it'll just hit you regardless if you're looking for it or not. But page 6 will always, page 6 will always hit me with a Bethany story every day. And I fall into this trap every day where I start commenting on the page 6 Instagram. I'm like, no, this is what she's got to know. And it shows why you guys are so successful, is you get that thing where it just gets me activated immediately.
I will say I do see your comments and I appreciate them. Thank you for engaging.
No, it's me at my lowest. It's me at my lowest where I am so upset. I'm like, don't do it. I've stepped away from the phone. I come back and I'll be like, and another thing. This is why it's so great. This is why their show is so great. This is why they are so great. So you are going to go subscribe right now to page 6 virtual reality TEA. Go leave it a 5-star review. These guys are stars. In what we do, they are just two of my heroes. And I get so much information and laughs from them on the daily. And thank you guys so much for being here. Evan, Real, Danny, you're just amazing. I'm going to put all of your information, all of the, I just really appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys. We're excited that you're going to come on our podcast right now.
Right now. That's why I got to rush to get you guys off so I can get on your guys. So hopefully this will be one of many appearances, but I really appreciate you guys.
Yes. Appreciate you. Okay. We'll keep the party going on virtual reality now.